Hey guys, welcome back to the Wood Metal Workshop. I'm Kent. Got a little project here. We all have to deal with cable at some point in time. Putting a loop in the end of it. Typically, you see these folded over and a couple of cable hooks. Well, let's see if we can put on here, and that's all we do. Other version, and I don't have one in the shop right now, is a swage. So you slide it over, make the loop, slide it through, use the crimping tool, crimp it down. That's how I usually do it. I said I don't have any in the shop right now, and actually the crimping tool is in one of the trucks, so where I was using it last. So I don't happen to have that handy either, but I need a loop. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do this. And alright, so let me reposition the camera down here at the vise and give you a shot here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to feed this through the vise. Just makes it a little easier. Don't have to hang on to it. Not going to crimp it tight, just enough to hold the cable in place. Now, cable is made up of 7 conductors, typical cable. So what you want to do is you want to get 3 of them. 3 of the so there's 6 wrapped around 1. So we're going to find 3 here. If I can get it loose here. Okay, so I'm just going to unwind these. That should be enough right there. So, 2 different ways. This cable wants to go back together. Okay? It wants to stay in the shape it's in. If you make a loop, kind of doing this backwards from the way I normally do it, because I'm doing it for the camera here, it wants to go back together. So you could do it one way, it doesn't want to go back together. You wrap it the other way. Yep. Nope, that was the wrong way. So I had it right the first time. It wants to seat back in place. So that's about the size of the loop I need. You can always pull it a little tighter, a little looser, depending on how you want it. And just wrap the trunk. Now, this is actually stronger than the cable it's made of. So the cable should break before this loop comes out. So get it back here to the end. I'll take the other end and do the wrap on that. It's a little bit of work. Cables, and this is pretty thin cable. Of course, you wouldn't be doing this small of a loop in a heavier cable typically, so okay, got that wrapped around. So now you got the free end here. So you're just going to go ahead and bring this back together. Like I said, it wants to go back together. Just like that. So that is actually stronger than the cable itself. Now you got this free end sticking out. So you can use these. Put 1 or 2 of them on there to hold that free end in. Like I said, this is really strong already. So another way you can do it, and I slid this on here previously, is a piece of heat shrink. Big enough to go over everything. Yeah, one that's sticking out there wants to catch. Make this easier, and I'm going to make it easier because I can. Let's take a little bit of electrical tape. And you could just wrap this with electrical tape. I guess that's another way to do it too, but not typically how I do it. So I'm just going to give that a wrap. Slide the heat shrink over it, and then let's shrink it down. Now this is a 1/4 inch cable. Not going to be putting that much stress on it for the job it needs to do. So that's more than enough to hold that in place. I said this just keeps it from springing around. Once it cools off, it'll tighten up nicely. And like I said, you can pull on this as hard as you want, as strong as the cable. So, and it's a nice looking loop too. Now if you don't have heat shrink, you're out in the field, alright, so here's another way to do it. This is how I would typically do it. I've always got baling wire in the truck, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring this back closer to the vise a little bit. Just going to make a loop here, just like that. Lay it on here. Gonna hold that in place, and then just start wrapping it. Get a turn on there. Get it fairly tight. You don't want to be all loosey-goosey on this, but you don't have to strain yourself either. If this was rope, we'd just call this whipping. So I guess it's the same thing. We're just going to whip the end of this. Keep that tail from flopping around and getting caught on stuff. So we're good there. Just going to feed it through this loop. Grab that, put this fairly tight, hold it in place, pull on the other end. Nip that end off. Pull it underneath. Nip that end off. Nicely set to go. And that just holds that tail in place nicely. And it's a long-term solution. This is a other, oh, you could slide the swage over here too and swage it down. But this is the best field fix for you. It'll hold everything in place, and you can keep going. Alright guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll catch you in the next video.